I want to talk about drums and if they are a bit too tight or if they're a bit too flat, what that might sound like and what you can do about it. So here we are. We have a goat drum here. Let's give it a play and see what it sounds like. So this drum actually sounds perfect. It's very deep and resonant. And so this is what a drum could sound like. Now I say could because even if you've got the same hide as me and you also have a goat drum, it can very much sound different. Every skin, every hide, and every drum after you've laced it also may sound different. So your drum may not sound exactly like this. So I'm just going to play you another sound. This is a kangaroo drum. So can you hear how that's different? So I would say that the sound of this, it's all right. It is resonant, but there's almost a little bit of tinniness. So there's very tightness to it where it doesn't have that full resonance. So I'm just showing you a few sounds so you can recognize them when you have your drum and actually know if it's too tight or if it's flat. Okay, so I would say if this was me using this drum, I would probably think that this is a bit too tight and I would put some water on it. So I'll talk about that in a second. Let's just play two more drums. This is a deer drum. All right. So this one I can hear some of the vibrations of the lacing behind it, which is interesting. It is also probably a little bit tight, even though it is resonant. So I just brought it from inside to outside, because when I was inside, it wasn't actually sounding like this. And this is something for you to pay attention to as well. When you're in the elements, sun, rain, humidity, it's going to impact how your drum is going to sound. So I probably wouldn't put any water on this. There is a bit of vibration, so I would check your drum if you've got any little bits and pieces coming off that's actually making things vibrate. So I reckon there probably would be. Okay. So what does a very tight drum sound like? So this is a bit tighter. So can you hear that it's just got this very tinny sound, especially here. So that's a good sound to show you of what it is, what it sounds like when it's too tight. So there's nothing wrong with a drum being too tight. I would rather you have a drum that's too tight than it flat, because when it's tight and tinny, this sound, you can always improve it. So what I generally do is I run my hand under the water, under the faucet, just on my palms, and then I would rub it over the drum. The other way you can do it is on the inside as well, but you have to be very careful because it's the inside of the hide. It absorbs the water really quickly. So I would only just put a couple of sprinkles. Some people use a spray bottle and you can spray the front. So I guess the first time that you hear your drum is tight, you would want to experiment and see just how much water is needed for it to become resonant again. So I'm going to go and do that inside and come and show you how different that sound is, and then maybe show you what a flat drum. So listen again. This is when it is too tight. So I've just put a little bit of water on that. And let's just start seeing how the sound starts sounding different. Can you hear that's already a little bit deeper? But if you put too much, the drum will go flat. I've just put a little bit more. Still resonant. My poor drum. I hate when it's flat. All right. So I've probably put just a bit too much water now. Can you hear that it thuds? So it's almost like there's too much of that resonance. So that kind of thudding like that, you see, that is a flat drum. When your drum is flat, which obviously won't be soaking like this, it's flat because your drum may not have been laced tight enough, then you need to place it near a heat source. So near an open flame, even on your stove top, and you can place it above. Obviously, please watch, you know, how far away it is. And as it starts getting warmer, it will tighten that sound up again. So by adding water to a tight drum, you can make it more resonant. When it is flat like this, you need to add heat. So literally in front of a heater, in front of an open flame, but please watch it. Some people say they can use water bottles and place it there. I haven't found it to be that effective. So it really needs to be a heat source for you to be able to get that drum back to a normal sound. Okay, so that's a flat drum. You don't want to be playing flat drums. You want to be playing really beautiful, rich, and resonant sounds.